The Avengers radio series, a cultural phenomenon in South Africa back in the 1970s. South Africa was a country with no national television service. It wasn't until 1976 that the country would get its first taste of television broadcasts. But before that, radio was the primary medium of entertainment and information for the masses. This was the context when The Avengers, a British spy FI series, made its debut on South African radio and became a cultural phenomenon. The Avengers was a British television series that originally aired from 1961 to 1969. The show revolved around the adventures of John Steed, a suave and sophisticated secret agent, and his various female associates. The series was a unique blend of traditional spy thriller elements with science fiction and fantasy, which set it apart from other shows of its time. While the series was hugely popular in the UK and had also made a significant impact in the American markets, being one of the rare British series given a network transmission slot, it was virtually unknown in South Africa. This was primarily due to the lack of a national television service in the country until 1976. However, as a film series, The Avengers was able to gain some exposure in South Africa through film rentals. But it was the launch of the radio series that truly brought The Avengers to the masses in South Africa. Come and listen at www.myclassicradio.net.
Now, don't go away, because next on CBS Radio's Comedy Time are those two zany characters of many characters, Bob and Ray.
And now, Bob, Elliott, and Ray Goulding present the CBS Radio Network.
Who's that?
The request for more rock and roll on the Bob and Ray Show.
Well, that phone has been... I spent 2 hours today answering calls about that.
All day long they've been calling. It went over very, very, very big.
Speaking, of course, of the P-Knuckles, the new rock and roll group that we introduced yesterday, did we? Or the day before?
Yesterday, wasn't it?
Yesterday, yeah. Kind of a Thanksgiving present from us.
Well, we're going to get to work in just a second. Somebody in the audience is holding up a big card.
Yes, we're going to let them have that.
Interesting. You turn a mic towards them, they're holding up a sign that says, I'm from Topeka, Kansas.
And they're waving. You people can't see them. Hello.
Hi.
How are
You
you?
gonna play more rock and roll?
Yes, we're going
I came all the way from Topeka to see the P-Knuckles.
Well, they're right behind the curtain. In just a moment, we're going to pull the curtain aside. You'll see them and hear them on their new waxing on the cookie label of Ma Rock.
Yeah, you gonna put your extra curtain? Let's see.
I think we're ready now. There you are, Topeka. Close the curtain. Leave it, let them sing behind it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Pino. Boy, that's good, isn't it? That is the shortest record.
Just about enough, too, you know. That song is just right. If it was a little longer, it'd be too long.
How'd you like that, Topeka?
Terrific. I wonder would they come out for our annual charity ball?
Well, you'd have to speak to them about it. I know they're accepting bookings well into 1960.
Right. Well, I'd talk with them then after the show.
Sure. Talk to their manager.
Please be quiet, if you would. Wally Ballou is out again today. Another America on the March.
He didn't get home, incidentally, for Thanksgiving dinner at all yesterday.
He didn't, huh?
No.
It's a shame. But as we explained, though, I mean, that's
Job,
right?
Sure.
You bet. Today, he is somewhere, I don't know where, but he's ready to come in now live, wherever you are. Wally Ballou.
Lee Ballou speaking from the basement of Bascom Bellaire's house in Wantar, Long Island. And perhaps you can tell by the echoey effect here that this is a large cavernous cellar, one where Mr. Bellaire conducts his business, I guess. Is that right, sir? Bascom, if I may call you that.
Wish you would. Well, actually, Mr. Ballou, you're here for the first day of my actual going into business.
Well, I was told you've been in business some 20 years, sir.
Oh, I have. You see, 20 years ago on this date, November 27th, 1939.
That was a good year.
I made a batch of scotch.
Uh-huh.
And I wanted a good aged scotch, a 20-year scotch.
Uh-huh.
20-year-old scotch. So it's just ripening and coming due today on this, November 27th.
So it's 20 years old today, is that so?
20 years old today.
How much did you make? Several vats or?
6 bottles. I made 6 bottles back.
Uh-huh.
I made it on November 26th, and then let it sit overnight, and then I bottled it on the 27th and kept them right here next to the coal bin.
So now you expect, of course, you've been bottling it ever since, I suppose, so you'll keep up a day-to-day 20
I just made the 6 bottles, and it's been a tight 20 years trying to eke out a living, waiting for this to age. Fortunately, my wife mentioned to me about 11 years ago that I should have made a bottle every day.
Well, that would have been more practical. Then was some 20 years on.
It was too late. I said that after 11 years, for instance, or 9 in that case,
you'd still have a break of 9 years.
9 years, and I just couldn't afford it.
Have you got much of a staff here? Have you kept the staff on?
I've kept just a girl who is going to take orders whenever they can.
Have you consigned this shipment to anyone as yet?
Nobody has ordered it yet. I'm instituting a large advertising campaign. Hired one of the big advertising agencies there in New York. We're going to have big spectacular, we hope, on radio.
Sounds good.
Newspaper, magazines, billboards.
I really don't think you'll have much trouble getting rid of these 6 bottles.
What?
I don't think you'll have trouble getting rid of these 6 bottles.
No. And stickers for the back of the automobile. I'm going to put, like we've been to Luray Taverns.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to have that. The only thing is, would you like to have No, I better not. I think...
not on the radio, please.
Right. Well, it's...
Well, it'd be a nice souvenir.
I hate to open one of these bottles because to make any kind of profit, I'll have to sell all these.
All 6 of them, yes.
Looks good, though, doesn't it? Here,
it
let me
looks
hold
beautiful,
this up to
beautiful
the,
color.
Oh, how did that... Oh.
You, hit that shelf there.
Oh.
Well, you still have 5, and, what do you plan to do now in the next 20 years, if this works out?
Get a haircut.
Uh-huh. Well, thanks very much, Mr. Belair. Name very similar to mine, I noticed. And this is radio's Wally Ballou, speaking from the Belair Cellar, returning it now to Bob and Ray.
Rather sad ending there, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's a long time to wait for a disappointment of that kind. Hey, do you think we should tell everybody?
Well, I think they'd probably appreciate the tip, yeah.
Friends, this Sunday night, CBS Radio's Goose Pimple Derby Suspense brings you another tale well calculated to give you the willies.
It's all about a mild-mannered retired man named Billy Batson, who's kidnapped by 4 desperate men and held captive in a ramshackle, deserted, all-night movie.
And to while away the time, his captors play Monopoly for real money.
And while we won't spoil your fun by telling you how Billy Batson outwits the thugs, we will just hint that he soon has them at each other's throats by kibitzing one of them into trading Boardwalk and Park Place, get this, to another for Marvin Gardens and a get-out-of-jail-free card.
So don't miss Murder Over Monopoly, another tale well calculated to keep you in suspense. Sunday night on CBS Radio.
You think they swallowed all that guff?
Well, they might listen anyway, I guess. Here's Natalie Attired, friends, their usual Friday visit. And, have you given up the college songs this week, or what?
Yes, because most of the big games will be all over tomorrow. Then the only thing you have then are bowl games on the New Year's. So
yeah.
I'm just going to say Pops songs.
You're going to go back to pop songs, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And what have you picked for today?
I have a very unusual song to say today. I'm going to be assisted vocally by, or orally, as the case may be, by Eddie, my drumming assistant.
Right.
Eddie and I
do what?
we're going to say one of the songs from Gypsy.
Oh, yeah, that's good score from that show, isn't it?
It's called Together Wherever We Go.
All
Eddie,
right.
if you would, please.
Right, I'm going to drum and say at the same time.
Yes.
Wherever we go,
whatever
We may not go far, but sure as a star, wherever we are, it's together. Wherever I go, I know he goes. Wherever I go, I know she goes. No fits, no fights, no feuds, and no egos. Amigos. Together. Through thick and through thin. All out, all in. And whether it's win, place, or show. With you for me and me for you, we'll muddle through whatever we do together. Wherever we go.
I don't think you needed that.
One word capsule comment. Critique. Phew.
I think maybe you better stick to solos.
I thought it was rather good and different.
Hey, I meant to ask you last week. You met Mary Magoon for the first time. Nat.
What?
You met Mary Magoon for the first time last week.
Charming old lady.
Did you go out and have dinner together? And...
No, I don't think we strike it off too well. I just think there's maybe more or less of a conflict in personalities.
Well, she's never been too high for us to get along with. I thought maybe you had a pleasant time. You started off very well, anyway.
Well, I tell you, you pick your friends.
Oh, I'm not trying to force
her. Mine. Now, is that a fair enough arrangement, buddy?
Well, I guess it's all right.
Good.
I'm not trying to start anything between you.
Right, yeah. Buy a blast.
Okay.
Then. What else do we have to do here? Oh.
Yes. You know, there's one thing about unsightly dandruff.
People who have it want to get rid of it, right?
Right, and I think you know how they can do it in just 3 minutes.
That's right. Dandruff bothers most men and most women, too. So listen. Today you can get rid of embarrassing dandruff in just 3 minutes. Yes, with Fitch Dandruff Remover Shampoo, unsightly dandruff's gone in 3 minutes. It's the quickest, easiest... Did you drop something?
My earphone.
Oh. Yes, it's the quickest, easiest of all leading shampoos. And that's not all. Using Fitch regularly is guaranteed to keep embarrassing dandruff away. Simply apply in the unique Fitch manner. Before you wet your hair, rub in 1 minute. Now this way, Fitch shampoo penetrates right down to the scalp. Next, add water and lather for 1 minute. And you wash every trace of dandruff out of your hair. Then rinse 1 minute, and all that loosened dandruff goes down the drain. In 3 minutes with Fitch, 1 rubbing, 1 lathering, and 1 rinsing, dandruff's gone. And never forget, Gentle Fitch can also leave your hair up to 35% brighter. To get rid of dandruff problems forever and brighten your hair too, use Fitch regularly. Get Fitch Dandruff Remover Shampoo today, only 59 cents.
Well said.
Telephone.
Oh, there's the phone. Hello, Bob and Ray Show.
Hello, Ray. How are you?
Oh, no, this is Bob.
Hey, Ray, baby. How you doing?
Steve
Hey,
Bosco,
look
ladies
here.
and gentlemen.
Hey,
Hello,
Ray.
Steve. No, this
Get
is
up
Bob.
there. Put on Bob.
Ray's outside, Steve.
Bob?
How are you?
Steve, how are you?
Where are you calling from?
Annapolis.
Annapolis, Maryland.
Annapolis, Maryland. Hey. Hi, Bob. How are you?
Hello.
Good, Steve. Hey, look.
What are you doing down there?
Well, the sheriff let me use the phone. He said I could make 1 call.
You're not in jail again,
Oh,
are
yeah,
you?
I am.
Because this
And
happened.
it looks really serious this time. I see what I try to do is try to get the Navy's goat and give it to the Army for the big game.
Oh, yeah. Well, look, this is typical of it.
Inadvertently, somehow or other, I got signing checks down here last night. I was having a swinging time.
Yeah, well, this is one of your failings, you know. You've done this all over the country. And
Yeah.
we told you
I
last
think
time.
this is the most I've ever done. No, it's up over 1,100 fish. Hey, I need some money, and I need it by about an hour.
Well, we told you last time we weren't going to stand for this, young man.
$1,100 to Steve Bosco, the most expensive hotel in Annapolis.
Well, I don't think we can help you out this time.
This is Steve
young man.
Bosco, rounding third, being thrown out of the home.
Boy, time and time again he does that, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, it's good to hear from him, really. It's been years, I think, since we heard from Steve
Well, I think you ought to have a real good talk with him and send him out on the straight and narrow. He either reports or he doesn't.
Do you have much turkey left over at your house?
Yeah, got enough for the next 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
It was good, though.
Let's see, tomorrow I suppose we'll be, on turkey hash or croquettes?
Croquettes tomorrow.
You know, I know a fellow never ate croquettes.
At home or in a restaurant?
Why is that?
Well, in a restaurant, he knew he didn't know what was in them. And he wouldn't eat them at home because he knew what was in them.
Well, do you have another relative we can talk about?
No, not tonight, Gracie.
Okay.
But anything else we should do before we let the curtain fall here at the beloved Bob and Ray?
Well, we should thank, while we think of it, Joe Cadibbo and Joe Alonzo and Cyril Torchia and Dick Howland and Kirby Hill. I threw a new one in there.
Where did that name come from?
And we'll have a word about safety in just 10 seconds.
Now, friends, here's Bob with a word about safety.
Careful.
Right. Whatever happened to engineer's name, John Smith? Anyway, Cyril Torchia. Till Monday, have a nice weekend. This is Ray Goulding reminding you to write it to your work.
Bob Elliott reminding you to hang by your thumb.
This is the CBS Radio Network. CBS Radio Network.